An up-close look at this crocheted and embroidered garment from artist Milagros Batista, who learned to crochet as a child in the Dominican Republic.
People ask me, how long does it take? It's a long, long time.
Batista is a studio and teaching artist at the Children's Art Carnival in Harlem, which is the focus of a new exhibition at the Wallach Art Gallery at Columbia University, Children's Art Carnival in Harlem, the making of contemporary artists. The Carnival, as it's known, grew out of MoMA's art education series started in 1942. It was reimagined as a free outreach program in Harlem in 1969 under the leadership of the late artist Betty Blayton Taylor.
And initially they were teaching 4 to 7-year-olds. Eventually they went up to 21, and they even had classes where they would educate teachers, and they developed curriculum. Their curriculum, which used art education to improve literacy, was implemented in New York City public schools and part of the Board of Education system for over 20 years.
In 1974, the Carnival in Harlem became an independent nonprofit organization, moving into a Harlem townhouse which remains its home. The exhibition features the work of 30 artists affiliated with the Carnival over the years, including Jean-Michel Basquiat, who interned there in the mid to late 1970s. Milagros Batista says being part of the Carnival and the exhibit is something she could have never imagined.
We are not only artists, we become families. Like when I come, we talk about how are your children, how are your grandchildren, what is you doing, and then we talk about what I came to this place for, to create a piece.
The exhibition was curated by Solio, who says it studies how all of those who came through the Carnival's doors were impacted by the experience on spiritual, personal, and artistic levels, since the focus of the organization was not just making artists, but making whole human beings.
The fact that Betty had the vision, along with the rest of the Carnival's team, to create this amazing resource for the community is really inspiring. So I hope folks come here, they're inspired, they see reflections of themselves, they're inspired to either make art or just to support art and celebrate it.
The exhibition is on display through September 13th. Plan your visit at wallach.columbia.edu. In Manhattan, Roger Clark, New York 1.
A new exhibition at Columbia University, looking back on decades of fashion in Harlem.
Yeah, Pat, that's right. Welcome to Wallach Art Gallery at Columbia University. And this is all about a grassroots organization that helped spark the careers of many, many artists, many all over the New York City area. It is called the Children's Art Carnival in Harlem. We're going to tell you all about it, and we're going to meet Solio, the curator, coming up when the news continues on Mornings on One.
In Harlem, a community arts center that has made a huge impact is the focus of a new exhibition that's on view at Columbia at the Wallach Art Gallery. That's where Roger Clark is this morning with the details about what you can see and where. Good morning, Roger.
Well, hey, Pat, good morning. Yeah, great stuff. And we're talking about Children's Art Carnival in Harlem, which really isn't that far away from here, from where we're standing. And that's what makes this such a cool exhibition, because we're talking about the community, we're talking about art, we're talking about grassroots community organizations that help folks everywhere. And joining us now is the curator of that exhibition, my pal Solio. Good to see you again. And I know that you're a huge fan and really believe in what Children's Art Carnival in Harlem has done over the years. But let's go back in time. How did this thing get started?
So it started in 1942 at the Museum of Modern Art, MoMA. Victor D'Amico, the founding education director, wanted to create a space where children could tap into their own sense of creativity, and they weren't just sort of doing a regimented approach to art education. And then in 1969, Betty Blayton Taylor became the executive director. MoMA wanted to do something addressing social justice needs in the Harlem community, and she became executive director in 69, and then in 74, she purchased a townhouse where they currently still operate. So for about 60 years, they've been supporting the community through art education.
And you say that name, Betty Blayton Taylor,
yeah.
Total legend in the arts world, also co-founder of Studio Museum in Harlem. Has some work here as well, but 30 different artists and everyone affiliated with Children's Art Carnival.
Yes, it's amazing. So many people came through there. Stevie Wonder visited. Basquiat was an intern there. And it's really interesting with Basquiat because you don't hear his story about how these grassroots organizations were so instrumental to his development. And so he would make prints at the carnival and then take them downtown to Andy Warhol. So the carnival provided him with some of the resources to become who he is today.
Right, we were talking about that, how you hear, when you hear Basquiat, you hear he grew up in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You hear about, clearly part of the downtown scene, but also here in Harlem. And that's why you really wanted to do this and make sure that folks remember what happened in this place. Yeah.
It's so important because so many of our histories get washed away. You know, in this current climate, there's a tax on DEI, there's not enough funding. And so it's important to preserve these histories and these narratives to remind us as we go through challenges today that it's possible to create institutions and organizations that can serve the community.
And talk about being in this space, because I was saying the other day, this was my first time in one of the new academic buildings that Columbia has up in the Manhattanville section, and beautiful art gallery, the Wallach Art Gallery.
I mean, look at where we are. It's amazing. The art even, beautifies it even more. But it's just wonderful to have this space in the community, an institution that has, this resource and this space, and that they're opening the doors. This is part of the Uptown Triennial, and every 3 years they do a show that focuses specifically on Uptown artists. And so how wonderful to celebrate that today.
And of course, who else would they find to curate? It's got to be Solio.
I don't like to, thank you, Roger. Thank you.
Great to see you again.
You too, thanks.
All right, the great Solio. And yeah, come check it out. So, Pat, easy to find. The Wallach Art Gallery is inside. All right, so make sure we get this right. It's the Lenfest Center for the Arts. So it's on West 129th Street, just past Broadway. But if you want to get here, all you have to do is take the 1 train to 125th Street, and it's across the street. So there you go. It's very simple. And Dinosaur Barbecue's down the block if you want some barbecue. Pat, you knew I was going to throw food in there.
Right? You always plan the whole day trip with food and Subway and some sort of cultural event. I love it. Roger, thank you.